the PNP. Mark Jefferson Golden, and at the time, Peter Bunting, I don't know if you realize this, that Peter Bunting is no longer on the train. Peter Bunting has separated himself from them. I don't know who realized it. Since the spectacle of their conference, Peter Bunting has not been seen publicly with any high-ranking member of the PNP. Neither Mark Golden, Dayton Campbell, none of them. Peter Bunting has separated himself from them. So Mark Golden and back then Peter Bunting, they came to power. They realized that, listen to me now, Andrew Holness and his government are too popular. They are doing too good of a job. What's the best way for us to put ourselves in the race? What's the best way? And the plan come up with, we have to destroy him. We have to tear him down, we have to rip him apart. And because the PNP spent 18 years in office, and those 18 years were ripped with corruption, and those 18 years made Jamaican have a very distrusting nature towards politicians. So because of that, it's not hard for you to say corruption and people run with it. They knew that because they planted the seed. So they went up now to water the tree. They would have called in all their favors to all their friends at the Integrity Commission, including a young man that used to work with the former president of the PNP. He used to work directly with the former president of the PNP. And this is why, at the time, even when Peter Phillips was president, he was doing his job. He did his job when Peter Phillips was president, because Peter Phillips did not call on the Integrity Commission to go out of their way. Mark Golden and the rest of the PNP did. They called in favors. They called comrade and said, comrade have to help with because we have to break down this man. And they set out on that mission. And they feed information to the PNP. The PNP was so confident that election would have been called early because of the information they were getting. And we here has been calling out the Integrity Commission for their action for the longest while. Now, somebody from inside, Mr. Swaby, has written this letter. And I'm going to read said letter now. Just bear with me. I am not. Maybe I should bring up Sheikah. No. I'm going to read it myself. So it says, Dear Lawrence Bestwick and others, that is Beresford and Edwards. I told you where those three persons are from already. I write to you in your capacity as leading principals of the Integrity Commission and the major organized crime and anti-corruption agencies respectively to request an investigation into a serious matter. I write to lodge a formal complaint concerning misconduct and an act of corruption perpetrated by Kevin Stevenson. An act of corruption and misconduct perpetrated by Kevin Stevenson. Now, who is Kevin Stevenson, you might ask? Kevin Stevenson is the young man at the Integrity Commission that worked directly with Peter Phillips. So his political antecedents are known. He's also, Sheikah, what's his position? He's the Director of Investigations, right? His position is the Director of Investigations. He is in charge of all investigators at the Integrity Commission. That's his position. So I go again. I write to lodge a formal complaint concerning misconduct and an act of corruption perpetrated by Kevin Stevenson, attorney at law and director of investigation at the Integrity Commission. An act of corruption and misconduct. Stevenson's corrupt act concerns the investigation he pursued in respect of Andrew Michael Holness, Prime Minister of Jamaica. Stevenson's corrupt act concerns the investigation he pursued in respect of Prime Minister Andrew Michael Holness. The records of the Integrity Commission will indicate that an ex-investigator at the Commission, Stephanie Fiddler-Blake, who at the time was employed at the Commissioner, was moved to place in writing following inquiries from the Corruption Prosecution Department of the IC, her concern that steps being taken by the Commission into probing the Prime Minister's finance breach due process, possibly adversely engage in law and investigation best practices. Let me read again for those who don't get it. The record of the Integrity Commission will indicate that an ex-investigator at the Commission, Stephanie Fiddler-Blake, who at the time was employed to the Commission, was moved to place in writing. Now, what does that mean, move to place in writing? I am giving my opinion of this part here. Now, move to place in writing would say to me that she has spoken to several persons about what she thinks is happening and has gotten no result, just to put it in writing. When you put something in writing, you put it on the record. So it says that she was moved to place in writing following inquiries from the Corruption Prevention Department of the IC, her concerns that steps being taken by the Commission in probing Prime Minister's financing breach due process. Now, all Jamaicans are entitled to due process. Vybz Kartel is a free man today because due process. Yes, that's why every single Jamaican, just like how no one is above the law, no one is under the law either. Right? Every single Jamaican, that is a right, that is a fundamental right that we are all entitled to. So she said it breached due process and possibly adversely engaged in law and investigated best practice. That is it. Welcome, Comrade Ingram. Mr. Stevens not only elected to exclude Miss Blake's concern, which pointed to an unjust probe from the report he prepared for Parliament. He did the rounds at the Commission and persuaded several senior colleague directors not, and she put not in bold, not to include Miss Blake's account in any of their formal consideration concerning the case. Not to include Miss Blake's concern. Now, Miss Blake was the person in charge of investigating, and if the person in charge of doing the investigation have some concern, I would assume it will be added to whatever the final report is. Now, one of the things we should demand for all of the persons who hold integrity so high, we should demand that letter that was written by Miss Blake. Where is that letter? We want to know what it says. What concerns did she have? Not to include it. We go again. You might be aware that it is a breach of a public officer and attorney at law who considered before the court as a minister of justice to exclude evidentiary material from a probe and hide from Parliament or a judicial foray detail which could be material to the outcome. Now, again, I am not I am not the brightest bulb in the room. I am not the brightest bulb in the room. Right? The brightest bulb, there's somewhere over there, so me the way over there. So. But again, let me read that part, because this part is important. It is against the law to exclude material of evidentiary value that could affect the outcome of an investigation. Ingram, I am sure if this letter did tell you so the Prime Minister did something wrong, you'd have it already. That's why I tell you, say, the only way you live with integrity if I saw your wife's name. If this letter did say something bad about the Prime Minister, you'd have it already. So, let me continue. I am confident that a serious investigation will reveal that Mr. Stevens misconducted himself in public office and has possibly breached the Corruption Prevention Act in furtherance of what appeared to be his obsession to implicate the Prime Minister into wrongdoing, even when the evidence does not support his mission. I go again. I am confident that a serious investigation will reveal that Mr. Stevens misconducted himself in public office and has possibly breached the Corruption Prevention Act in furtherance of what appears to be his obsession to implicate the Prime Minister in wrongdoing, even when the evidence does not support his mission. Mr. Ingram, again I said to you, sir, if this letter did say something bad about the Prime Minister, you would have already have it. You would have already have it. Both he and Executive Director Greg Christie are in the habit of seeking to marginalize and intimidate any staffer of the commission who acts professionally in respect of the Prime Minister. Right? So if you act in good faith where the Prime Minister is concerned, then get you out. He had led an atmosphere at the commissioner which is incredibly toxic and is given to serious miscarriage of justice. Both Executive Director Greg Christie, both he, which is Kevin Stevenson, and Executive Director Greg Christie are in the habit of seeking to marginalize and intimidate any staffer of the commissioner who acts professionally in respect of the Prime Minister. He had led an atmosphere at the commissioner which is incredibly toxic and is given some serious miscarriage of justice. With regards, Mark Swaby. Mark Swaby was the person in charge, one of the persons in charge of investigating the Prime Minister. Now, this letter has not revealed anything that myself and my fellow Labour Party bloggers didn't know. But what it did was added some other things. This is from somebody on the inside that was forced to step away because the injustice that they saw was being meted out to the Prime Minister. Again, Brother Ingram, you're not interested in this letter. I know you're not, because this letter does not further your claim. Now, if I was one of those people who going around and telling people, oh my God, the most important thing to me is integrity. Then this tell me, say, the water that I have been drinking all this time is dirty water. And then they have to go reconsider now the source of the water. Mr. Ingram, you have to reconsider the source of the water. I just said it, sir. It is a letter written to Mr. Craig Beresford, Justice Lawrence Bestwick, and what's the name of the other person go to? And Mr. Edwards of the major organized crime. And again, I am certain if it's a something else, you would have it. And just so you all know, Mr. Beresford has acknowledged receipt of this letter. Mr. Beresford has acknowledged receipt of it. So, what we have been saying all along is that something is wrong with what these people were doing. We were never against an integrity commission. We were against the people that were there. People that sees the color orange over the black, green, and gold. People that look at orange above the black, green, and gold. As long as orange sits on the black, green, and gold, they are okay. And that has always been our problem with the Integrity Commission. Not the commission itself, but the commissioners were the problem. The investigators were the problem. The directors were the problem. And I've been putting this question, well, not me. Mr. Vegas is the first ask this question, and I would like to further it. What was the difference between 2020 and 2021 why the Prime Minister's statutory declarations weren't certified? What was the difference? What did they find differently? It was certified in 17, 18, 19, and 20. What was the difference? It is a valid question. Ingram, you are integral in the PMP. Tell me, Ingram, what was the difference between 2020 and 2021 why they stopped certifying the Prime Minister's declaration? Tell me what was the difference. The only thing that changed, Mark Golding took over the PMP. Rise United hijacked the PMP. And that is the difference. 2019 and 2020 are certified. What is the difference between 2020 and 2021? That's what I'm asking, Ingram. What's the difference? And Ingram, you see, Ingram, again, I'm going to repeat this statement. The only way you live with integrity is if I saw your wife's name. Because you are on social media and you are coming here to ask me now if 2019 or 2020 were certified. It means that, Ingram, of all the things, you have absolutely no knowledge of the things you claim you're arguing about every day. If you have to ask that, Ingram, I hope to God your wife named Mrs. Integrity. I hope that's such a name. Because that's the only way you live with integrity. If you have to ask that, and you're on social media every day talking about the Prime Minister and you don't know, it says a lot, Brother Ingram. It says a lot. Now, Ingram, you now have to consider, now where you have been getting your water from. Because as according to Mark Swaby, the stream Where did that feed you the corruption water? It's dirty. You see, these are some serious allegations, you know. Where when she said he's pursuing what appears to be an obsession to implicate the Prime Minister in wrongdoing when the evidence does not support his mission. That is a serious allegation, and it is serious enough for Mr. Swaby to write to the new chairman of the Integrity Commission and the major organized crime. It is serious enough for Mr. Swaby to realize that you have to get this person involved because what is happening is wrong. A couple of weeks ago, Judge Davis said, if some of the things that he knew, he could only speak publicly, we would be shocked. Because what they knew is what we have all suspected, that these people were on a mission to marginalize and tear down the Prime Minister because they cannot face him politically. Ingram, you have no integrity to ask the Prime Minister any questions, sir. You have none. If you just type in the chat a while ago, if Prime Minister's 2019 and 2020 thing were certified, it means, Ingram, all this time you're there, chat to people, you've been chatting shit, you chat out of your ass. Because you did not even take the goddamn time out to even look. When me telling all the while, when me say comrade can't read, comrade don't speak with information, this is what I mean. Ingram and Ingram Accounting has been on social media for the last years discussing the Prime Minister's declaration, and him don't know. Him don't know that not 2019 and 2020 were certified. You don't know that. That is basic information where you have to get. No, Ingram, basic manners gone through the door. It gone through the door, Ingram, when you type up. Well, I remember find Ingram something. I'm going to find it with that thing. So if you find somebody search for Ingram, comment there for me. When ask the question if 2019 and 2020 were certified. Ingram, so all along, when you depend here at debate, the Prime Minister declaration, you have never taken the time out. You have never taken the time out to just go up on the website and find it. You never have to read it, you know, because it listed 1920. It there. So all along, you depend on the Instagram attack, you prove, Ingram. So you have been speaking out of your ass. And I'm going to start calling. Listen to me, no man. Respect our man has gone through the door now. That one question where you ask Ingram, show your brief. Yeah, that's where you ask, show your brief. Years you run around, you depend on every platform, every single platform where you depend, and you're discussing the Prime Minister's declaration, and you didn't even spend 2 minutes to go up on a website. You never spent 2 minutes to go up on a website and look. Let me look when was the last one that was certified. No. But you're here. The next court, I think the court said they will deal with it after the election. So I don't know when. I think the court said they'll deal with it after the election. So it won't be called up before the election. No, I don't think it's October. I think they say Ingram, you asked if they were certified. You asked because you did not know. And the question asks, why? What is the difference between 2020 and 2021? Why did they say, wait, we can't certify that one? What was the great difference? Did the Prime Minister assets move from 1 billion to 100 billion? No. No, I have never said to read your mind. But you asked the question because you did not know. Ingram, somebody give one this today. They say, wipe your ass. Because of that you talk about that. This is between me and you. Move up your wife and now listen. I want Mrs. Integrity not listen. I want Miss Integrity not listening. Because that's the name you call your wife from now on. From now on, your wife named Miss Integrity. Because as according to you, you live with integrity all of your life. So I assume that's the name of your wife. So from now on, the people, anytime I say Ingram, ask him how is Miss Integrity. That's the name of his wife. Judith Corey. I am here. Right. Now, as I say, this letter now tells us that the stream of information. You have never questioned if I have a wife. Then of course you can question if I have a wife. That's not a bad question. Is that do I have a wife? I have several. I have a wife, they have a sweetheart, they have a matey, and they have a woman on the side. Right. But this now, as I said, it proves that the stream is dirty. And the stream never dirty from morning. The stream became dirty when persons in the political directorate of the PMP started calling in favors. You owe we a favor. You owe us a favor. Now, tearing down Andrew Holness's image is not something new. I remember it was, I don't remember when it was, that Percival Patterson would have told the PMP, be careful of this young man. If you don't let him in, you will never get him out. So PG saw the type of leader that Andrew Holness would have been and know that it would spell disaster. He knew that it would spell disaster for the PNP. Now, Ingram is an old man. If we were to go back from independent Jamaica, the credibility of politicians were never questioned during the 60s. Ingram, am I lying? The credibility of politicians were never questioned during those times. They were upstanding citizens that people look up to. It was 1972 during the Manley administration that the credibility of politicians started to be questioned. It was during the 90s that the mistrust for political representatives went through the door. People not trust them because of the amount of corruption where the PNP preside over. And not just the act of corruption, the fact that no one has been held accountable. No one has never even resigned from them office for a corruption under the PNP. Not one. And because of that, it built up a mistrust for politicians. It built up a trust where we're at a time where we could not get decent people to serve in any sensitive area. We couldn't get decent person to serve in any sensitive area because of what? Because of the level of mistrust where the 90s and early 2000s put in on the Jamaican people. Scandal after scandal after scandal, corruption after corruption after corruption. and no one was ever held accountable. And that put up a bad taste in the Jamaican people's mind about the PMP, about politicians. So they know that this man, he's coming in, he's doing the work, he's putting in the investment. And the only way we can destroy him is to call him corrupt. They tried it with his house. Remember, you know, they campaigned for 4 years upon him house. How this a little boy? How this a little boy from Spanish town to build big house? And now, the new question is, how this a little boy from Spanish town come have bank account? So them teach the very same persons who should have strived to be great. Them teach you. This is where them teach you, the PMP teach you. Say, if you're young and you're black and you grow up poor, the only way you can achieve something, you must do something wrong. And I can prove it to you how the PMP mindset is. Not 2 hours ago, I was having a conversation on a public see this gentleman named Seabreeze. In there, every day, a champion PMP cause. He was giving me a scenario whereby when you give a man 2 orange, and if you come back and see him with 4 orange, something wrong. Take the mindset of that, you know. If you give a man 2 orange and when you come back him have 4, something wrong. He said, guess what? Instead of 2 orange you have, so 2 you must always have. So the idea of personal growth, the idea of business growth, the idea of growing Jamaica is lost on the PMP and them supporter. Thank you, Labour Yard. So no like me I tell. The man said, if they get 2 orange, at 2 alone you must have, and there is no legitimate reason for you to end up with 4. So Andrew born with 2 orange, and Andrew have 4 orange now, and they want to know where the other 2 come from. Me tell him, say, Andrew plant 1 tree and it bear. Yes. When Andrew get him 2 orange, him plant a tree. He never fling where the seed and him plant a tree. Yeah, yes, bro God, that's what them preach. You should be stuck at 1 level. When me tell you, so the PMP mindset is a dirty one. Why do they hate Andrew Holness? Because guess what? Him never attend GSC, him never attend KC, him never attend Calabar, him never attend Arden. No, he not got to know the it school them. No little boy we go send Katrina to come to Prime Minister. And believe it or not, some of the time them say the quiet part out loud. No little boy from Spanish Town, we ban now want 2-bedroom board house. Should have never done Prime Minister. Sometimes they say the quiet part out loud. It was revealed to me in a conversation, say Andrew Holness, somebody like Andrew Holness, not the Jamaica Labour Party, you know, somebody like Andrew Holness should have never be Prime Minister. Why? Because him born in a 2-bedroom board house. Long time in a plate. Banya. And you in Banya. We broke out in Banya. So him not later. So him not later. And you bring in a message to all young people. When I know progress. We are show up progress. He said to link them with more house. Link them with Hope House. And then we link them with a better airport. Link them with a bigger airport. We will Wi-Fi universal. We give them Wi-Fi universal. And then we link them with the free health care. Don't link them with the free health care. Increase pay for women. Increase pay for women. Then we double up the minimum wage. I just double up the minimum wage. My leader, Banya. We will program in Banya. We are tell them to leg a boya. Them now no use Roya. We are sat down with discipline. While we fighting the crime and bad mind. As we bring back the peace and love. Bring back the peace and love. Look up an Aris. I say pull it up. Pull it up. Ingram say pull it up. Pull up the Ingram. Holness Banya. Him grandmother Banya. Him grandfather Banya. I Banya. Banya. And you in Banya. We program in Banya. So him not later. So him not later. And you bring in a message to all young people. When I know progress. We are show up progress. He said to link them with more house. Link them with Hope House. And then we link them with a better airport. Link them with a bigger airport. We will Wi-Fi universal. We give them Wi-Fi universal. And then we link them with the free health care. Don't link them with the free health care. Increase pay for women. Increase pay for women. Then we double up the minimum wage. Nigel double up the minimum wage. My leader Banya. We will program in Banya. We are tell them to leg a boya. Them now no use Roya. We are sat down with discipline. While we fighting the crime and bad mind. As we bring back the peace and love. Bring back the peace and love. Look up an Aris. Today again, no fear master. Today again, everyone gainful. Employed, everyone gainful. We took them with the primary school. And we took them with the secondary school. If you say pull it up, me I pull it up, you know. Holness Banya. Holness Banya. Him grandmother Banya. Him grandfather Banya. 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 Why TikTok want about me behave? What are you doing? We program in Banya. So him not later. So him not later. And you
give them Wi-Fi universal, and then we lick them with the free health care. Don't lick them with the free health care. Increase pay for women. Increase pay for women, then we double up the minimum wage. Niger double up the minimum wage. My leader, Panya, we program him, Panya. We are tell them to let go, boya. Them now no use roya. We are starting with discipline while we're fighting the crime.
That is the essence of why these people are so hell-bent on getting Andrew out. It's not that he's not doing the work. It's not that they feel they can do a better job, because they can't. They have proven it. It's a level of bad mind that we have never seen before in Jamaica, where people believe that because your skin no brown, you never go to one of the top high school them in a Jamaica, you know, deserve to get anywhere. That it sound harsh, and it sound like something we would not think we would have in a today's Jamaica, but it exists. Like I said, in conversation I've had, persons have said it to me that somebody like Andrew should have never come to the Prime Minister. Now, not the Jamaica Labour Party should be in the government, you know. The Andrew shouldn't turn Prime Minister. And that is where we are fight again. Hold on, give me a second, guy. I'm searching to something to read there. CT. Yes, so that is it. Is it yeah, them tell us we sing every day about ghetto youths, we get a fight. Of course, I can multitask. In fact, little did you know that I invented the term. I was the first person to use that term, multitasking. I didn't copyright it. I didn't copyright it, so that's why anybody can use it now, you know. All right, so this is the next thing I wanted to go through with you guys. So a couple months ago, I said it right here. They said, it being an election year, look out for the public sector union to be very, very, what they call, hostile in them negotiating tactics. Look out for it. I said it. I said it months ago. I said, look out for them. The PMP is going to use them to try to pressure and embarrass the government. This government. I said, look what is going to happen. And now I see reports going around that the Jamaica Teachers Association are again planning to punish our students, our children, Yes, they are planning to rob our children. Because what we realize, to call out teachers in Jamaica, it's sacrilege. If you talk about teachers must be respect. I respect all teachers. What I don't respect is the Jamaica Teachers Association. I respect every single teacher that stand up in front of one classroom. I have no respect for the Jamaica Teachers Association. It's a difference. Now, they are being very aggressive towards the government early. Why do I say their actions are unjust? Because they would have just last year really received the final part of the increase that was due to them. They would have received that. Now, I'm going to read to you now the teacher's salary, what it was and what it is now. I'm not gonna go from principal. I don't want to go principal. I want to go just the regular teachers, because some of the time when you speak about the raise, then we tell you, say, oh, Uncle Principal get it. Vice Principal. So the salary of a master teacher, I honestly don't know how you classify a master teacher. When I say that, I don't know where you get that classification. But a master teacher, I figure it has to do with your level of education. If it goes up to the degree, I'm guessing. Don't hold me to that. But a master teacher, before April 1, 2022, was receiving $1.6 million. Before April 2022, the salary of a master teacher was $1.6 million. Well, it was between 1.6 and 1.8. You have different levels, the scale. Lowest level, 1.6, highest level, 1.8. As of April 1, 2022, that salary would have moved to a $3.5 million at the lowest level. Teachers, I want to attack. That salary would have moved from 1.6 to $3.5 million at the lowest level. At the highest level, it moved to $4.4 million. That's a master teacher. As of April 1, 2023, which is 1 year later, it moved to $4 million. And as of April 2024, it is $4.2 million. So from 1.6 to 4.2, at the highest end of it, it is 5.3 million. Now, again, the argument has always been teachers only get 20% raise while politicians get 200%. 1.6 before 2022, $4.2 million as of 2024. And this is an election year, so it's gonna go by at least 10%. Master teacher 2, as again, I don't know how them do the categories. Before April 1, 2022, that salary was $2,094,000. $2 million. Just call it $2 million. In 2022, it moved to $4.2 million. 4.2, from 2 million to 4.2. Then 2023 goes up to 4.5, and then it goes up to 4.8. So as of the end of 2024, it was $4.8 million. From 2 million to 4.8 million. And this is a negotiating year, so it's going to go higher. Another level of master teacher. As I said, don't know how them do this. This one before 2022 was getting $1.6 million. Oh, so this is similar to the other one. And by the end of that, it gone up to 4.2. So that far like under like the same one. No, come back up. We're done with it. Yeah, let me get back to this one. These people are agitating because the government passed a teacher's bill. And one of these days, I'm going to come on here, you know, it's the Sheikah free, and we are going to read through that bill. And I'm going to judge if there's anything in this bill that is going to marginalize or disenfranchise any of our teachers. Every other profession in this country have a registry. Nurses, you have to register and pass whatever it is to become a nurse, an engineer, an electrician. Every other profession have it. Teachers don't want to have to be registered. The least line of salary. No, where am I now? Master teacher that, master teacher that. So all of these master teacher, that from that to that. So we have trained graduates. Trained graduates. This level was getting, before 2022, $1.3 million. That was the salary before 2023, 1.3 million. In 2022, it moved up to 2.5 million, then it moved to 2.8 million, then it moved to $3 million. Now remember, these people tell you every day, so teachers only get 20% raise. These people tell us a politician wicked because them get 200%, not 100%, and get teachers 20%. These are the salaries of our teachers. The same people now who are resisting any form of change to the education sector. These people, the Jamaican, our students are not getting value for money. And I put that at the foot of the Teachers Association, which has become a political group. Well, not become, it was always one. So that was the trained teachers. Now we are at graduate pre-trained. I don't know how them get the categories, but this group, before 2022, was getting $1,043,000. That was their salary. In 2022, it moved to $1.9 million. In 2023, it moved to $2,084,000. In 2024, it moved to $2.2 million. Teachers, trained teacher with diploma. Trained teachers with diploma. Before, so this is basically the same scale, from that to that, yeah, same scale. Specialist teacher, I don't know the qualifications again. A specialist teacher too was getting $994,000 before 2022. $994,000. This is what they were getting before 2022. No. As of 2022, April 1, that moved to 1.9 million. Then it moved to 2,084,000 to 2.2 million. So basically, they moved in line with the diploma teacher. Yes. So they moved them in line with the diploma teachers. Specialist 1, I don't know it again. From 917,000 before 2022. then it moved to 1.5, then 1.6, and then 1.7. It's at 1.7 now. And then you have another category, which is pre-trained teachers. Don't know how this one set. So this one moved from just under 700,000 to now $1.4 million. So our argument has always been that no one received under 100% increase in their salary. Nobody. Nobody. But these people now are being agitated by their unions because it's an election year. And how do you invoke sympathy? You try to tug at people's heartstrings. Oh, teachers are this. Oh, they don't like teachers. Or teachers should be paid. But our children deserve to be taught. And if every time you have a disagreement, your only course of action, you do have a union that is in the middle of a negotiation that you can bring up any topic. Ingram, you always choose to come over here to come ask me some fuckery. Why? Why? Why you always choose to come over here and ask me some fuckery? Now, these people are the ones who believe that every time something goes wrong, the student must suffer. And I will not agree with that. Ingram, every single teacher in Jamaica was paid. Now, here is where I am disappointed in our teachers' reasoning ability. And because of how these people reason, it doesn't spell good. We understand why they're getting the result they're getting. The government recently raised the income tax threshold. Ingram, you are a goddamn liar. Lie. Lie, you tell Ingram. Ingram, you are a goddamn liar. You liar. Not tell Ingram, oh no, Ingram liar. As a matter of fact, come on my platform. I don't entertain liars over here. I tell you, the problem is that you don't believe that everything you going on must be, you don't have to tell lie. Yes, everything you going on, you don't have to tell lie. I don't have to. Yes. You can sit down and listen. Don't come type anymore fucking on my chat. Now, every time that you're in the middle of a negotiation, so yes, you can bring any issue you want to the negotiating table. But now guess what? You have to turn, you have to lock down school because guess what? You have to try please on the master. Right? But we have to go start calling out because we know now that our salary is not the same. I don't know who is Tanya. Our salary is not the same. But my people, I will now have to take my leave of absence. We will be back here tomorrow to continue. I trust you all learned something today. And I'm going to post the letter.
Trying to say than what I am saying. These projects are ongoing, so the results are not final. We are yet to see the results.
So the ultimatum is 9 years. You never fix no them, but I know you want to fix them.
No man, cut out that.
Sir, because the country.
No.
Because the country.
Wait.
Your neighbor.
Here you go. Wait.
May I answer that for your neighbor?
But just
Just
answer
wait a
one
minute,
question.
no.
All right, must want to tell him
I
how
think
fiscal
the
responsibility
people, hold on, I
operates.
think
So
the
we
people of
finish.
Jamaica needs to understand context. The fact of the matter, sir, is that many of the things the government is now able to do, it could not do when it took government from the People's National Party. Couldn't do it. Yes? And as a result of the poor fiscal management. By the way, Mr. Mignot, Barry?
Sir, I'm here.
Barry, could you tell us why it is that some of our infrastructure, some of our hospitals, police stations were allowed to fall into disrepair? And tell us why the government was not able to respond as Diego is suggesting.
Thank you, sir. Listen up. It's like, I'm going to put it as simple as this. You got a job. And when you got the job, you were making $100. Right? But your expense to take your day-to-day expense was $120. Right? So basically, you were actually spending more money than you were earning right? So what you had to do, you had to look into your expenses and see what it is that you could put on hold, what you could cut, right? In order to be able to bring your debt down so that you can be earning more than you were spending. So like, for example, you have car payment, you're turning back the car, and when you have no more car payment, that cut a part of your debt. You were going to parties with a budget, you cut out that. You probably cut out the prep school and start sending your child to a public school. So you basically over time you have to cut so that your earning can become more than what you owe. And basically what the government did when they took office, their expense was far more than the money that they were earning. So in order to actually be able to have some money to spend, they had to cut and they had to be put back some things and say, listen, what I'm going to try to do, I'm going to pay down my debt so that I can earn a little bit more than I'm spending, so that I have more money to do other things. And that is what the government did. They put some things on hold, so we can't take care of this now. We can't take care of that now. We have to kind of bring our earnings in line with what we are able to spend. And that is exactly what happened. So now that the government has done that, and you know, when you do that, it causes some problems in your family. People have said, boy, we used to drive in a car, go to school every morning, now we have to take taxi. We used to go out for dinner every week. We can't go for dinner, we have to cook every time. And sometimes we don't have the food to cook. So it caused some issues. But over time, it's called bad in your belly. And over time, what you're able to do, because of all of those austerity measures that you put in place, you will now realize that after time, your expense would have come down significantly and your earning would have increased. So what you find is that you have more money to spend. So having put yourself in that position, you start to look at some of the things that you neglected in the past. So you have more money to spend now, so you start to fix them up.
Yeah.
Right? While ensuring that you don't get back to the position that you were.
Is it true,
Yes, sir.
Isn't it true? Isn't it a fact?
Neighbor?
Yes, Dr. Dominic, go ahead.
Let me explain. Okay, I want to add additional things what Barry was saying, because he's 100%. But let me explain the history of what used to happen, why we are now here, right? Back in the time when the interest rate was so high, because the government kept borrowing, right? One time if you borrow, they pay teachers. You guys remember those days? That used to happen in the 90s and early, to borrow to pay teachers.
Hold on, Dominant. They used to borrow from Deno and Geddes.
I know what I mean, borrow them was a borrow, and that was
Hello,
so
neighbor.
Let me finish on a Diego because me a chance, Diego. Me not interrupt. Now I'm asking him, let me just finish. Let me just land, please.
Yeah, let him take his time, man. Go ahead, sir.
What happened, and it all started from Ardlisha when he came out and he also said that why are we paying this exorbitant, this high interest rate over? Why would not try cut down the interest rate? And all of them said it was rubbish. Omar Davis and everybody. You see, from that time, we start pay down the debt as what Barry is saying, and it all come like something like this. It's like you take out a credit card and you max it, and you gone up to the limit, and you can hardly pay. Once you find yourself that improve, you gotta cut down your debt. You gotta cut it down so you have more money to spend, and that's what the government is currently doing. But them time when PMP had it, they never had no money because they had to be borrowing.
So all Port and Peter Phillips passed the IMF test. Tell me what them do then.
Diego, stop propaganda.
Oh, that is propaganda. Oh, Peter Phillips get money the year for. Tell me what them do. Tell me what the Port Sims administration did.
And I will answer you, and I will answer you, Diego.
Tell me what them do.
Yeah, my answer you, Diego. Let me explain something about you understand IMF. You know what IMF sometimes come in with certain programs is when your economy is failing and you cannot pay down certain things and you don't have fiscal responsibility. Like what the government Diego. Let me talk, Diego. Let me explain. Even at that time, the government was paying a lot of money out as interest on the debt. And they were not collecting enough money like what we are collecting now. They had to be borrowing money, Diego. Even at the IMF program, so much money, right? Money, you have to borrow money, you know. I mean, but the rate at which the PMP was borrowing money was a lot. It was a lot.
At high interest rate.
All right, so neighbor.
You don't know. So
if you allow me to continue,
everybody
right?
talk.
No. I was actually talking.
I don't talk yet. Diego.
All right. So I was talking. So basically, having been able to pay down some of the debt, having ban our belly, go through the pressures and people quarreling and cussing, so the party now do nothing, and them now do this. What we were doing were actually, it's called austerity measures that we put in place. We ban our belly, as your grandparents should have called it, to put ourselves in a better position to be able to do some of the things. So since as we have been able to bring our debt down,
I agree with you.
I want to ask you a question, Barry. Barry, before you finish, let me ask you a question, Barry.
yes, go ahead.
Did the PNP put in austerity measures also?
No, they run with it.
What were the sacrifices that they made to ensure that they passed the IMF test?
I to be honest with you, the thing is, what they
wage freeze was a sacrifice.
Wage freeze was the biggest one, and that's why we failed the IMF test as Jamaica Labour Party, because we decided
listen to what me say. Listen to what me say.
That's what caused us to fail.
Listen to what me say. You know, one of the most disheartening things what I see over the last 5 years is that this administration has failed to come out and thank the Jamaican people for banning their bellies and holding on the pressure toward their backs. They make it seem as if they did something.
On many occasions, the Prime Minister would have
Reggie, no.
On many occasions, the Prime Minister
person.
Don't do that.
Mama P was the last person who came out and thanked the Jamaican people for making the sacrifice. This government came out and make it seem like say their administration. Diego.
Hold on. Take you 1 minute. Just like get me to me. Just like get me to me.
Maestro, make Diego finish.
You know, the problem that we're having, is that I started trying to make my point. And even though it's every time I get cut to be asked a question, somebody wants to take over. Nobody has given me an opportunity to finish the point I'm trying to make. I need to finish the point I'm trying to make.
Yes, please, guys, let's give Mr. Barry time to finish the point. It's a very important.
Go ahead. Go on, Uncle Barry.
All right. So basically, what I'm saying, so having been able to pay down some of our debt to the point where we have created what we call fiscal space within the economy. And you hear the government talk about fiscal. I hear people say physical. It's fiscal, right? And so we have been able to create fiscal space within the economy. And as a result of that, it means that the government has more money to spend. So every time the government reduces debt by a percentage, we have that percentage of money that we don't have to pay in order to be able to do things like doing roads, buying garbage trucks, buying buses, fix hospitals, pay teachers, pay police, right? And if you notice, in this budget, the government says that we are going to stay on the path of fiscal responsibility, meaning that we are going to continue on the same trajectory. We are going to only use the space that we now have, the fiscal space within the budget that we now have. And we are going to continue to pay down the debt. Now, what that means for us, let us say the government projected to pay the debt down by 60%, to 60% of GDP by 2027, 28. You know what that means for us? It gives us another 10% of fiscal space within the budget, right? For the government to be able to do more things. So think about what the government is currently doing. The government is paying teachers more, paying police more, buying cars, buying bus, buying garbage trucks, fixing road, fixing hospital, giving water, giving back this, giving back that, pension for this, pension for that. So what is going to happen now? The government is going to have even more money when you create more fiscal space in the budget. And that now will even allow the government to do a lot more things. And if it continue on the same path of fiscal responsibility, then as it continues to pay down
no, Diego. We have Mr. Urel and we have Orville. They haven't said a word. Can you just hold on a minute? Mr. Senior, go, sir. You have your 3 minutes.
Sir. Yeah, good evening, everyone. You know, the saddest thing whenever time you come on a live and we are making some point and expression about anything, and we hear people start to accuse. When you speak the truth, people accuse you of lying, and you this and say you're not listening to them. What I really find out with these people, when they come on any live or any year, they want you to listen them alone about the rubbish that they are saying. Because listen me, for them, facts is not facts anymore. It's about their damn feelings, right? And it's very painful to listen to a big man behaving this way. Let me ask you one question, Mr. Diego. Do we not use to prepare our own rice here in Jamaica? Or you're not old enough? Or did you know where the rice factory were? Question, you can answer that question and I'll ask you another one.
Big man, it is impossible for Jamaica to produce its own rice, Bridging. That don't make no sense. Talk something better than that.
Why it was impossible? Was that it doing and importing rice in Jamaica here? Or you don't know?
We don't have the land space or the geographical landscape we depend, and we can't produce enough rice, Bridging.
I'm going to ask you the question again.
Come on, man. Let's understand.
You look like you don't hear what I say.
But this is the same Diego with us.
I ask you this question. My brother.
Exactly, but it never say rice.
Do you know
it wouldn't be feasible? It wouldn't be feasible. Listen, senior, it wouldn't be feasible for the Jamaican society to produce rice, Bridging.
That's not the question I asked you.
That he's asking you. Listen to the question.
I ask you a question again and let me repeat myself. Do you know that we used to build have our own rice here in Jamaica with a rice mill in Spanish Town? Or you are not
of course,
old enough to know?
I know that. Then if you never old enough, I was there to read it, Bridget.
Who closed it?
I remember when it came, but
he married that part.
It no matter who closed it, it wasn't sustainable. It wasn't sustainable, Bridget.
Why you produce sustainable?
Bridget, if we produce rice, we'd have to sell rice by $20,000 above. Fear make a profit, Bridget. Come on, Mr. Senior, man. Better than that, man. Stick on some better, man.
But listen, man, you know you're not chatting about a rubbish out here, man. I don't know what you're really saying.
Senior, man.
You're only speaking with feelings, my brother. It's just feelings you have, and not facts.
Bridget, a facts we are speak. Ask Classic if it is sustainable to produce rice in Jamaica right now.
I never tell you that.
It is sustainable. It's sustainable.
There is a wicked man
question. In my case, it was sustainable.
It wasn't, Mr. Senior. And we had to move away from rice.
I asked you who closed the factory. That's what I asked you.
Hold on, there you go. I want you to reason. Mr. Senior, hold a second. I want you to reason like a big man. You are to listen to the question. If you don't have an answer, because the questions are leading to other questions. It doesn't necessarily mean that you're on two different trajectory, but you must understand the question that is being asked before you can answer.
Yes, I'm not answering, Barry.
You know, answer no question, brother. The man asks you, say, you say, who locked the rice factory? Who closed down the rice factory?
And you can say you don't know, because I don't know who closed it down either.
Yeah, but me I say, whether which party in power closed it down, it didn't make no sense.
PNP lock it down when rice are grow Westmoreland.
Well, them have sense for lock it down because it never sustainable, Bridging. At least somebody sensible will say, watch out.
So why is it feasible to grow Irish potato in Jamaica then? Why
yes,
is it
because
feasible
we
to
climb
grow
it,
Irish
because we climb it, produce it a lot, Bridging. The climate is friendly with growing potato, Bridging. And
so you are saying that it never feasible to climate for rice?
Hold on.
No, Bridging.
Diego, which two parishes produce the most Irish potato in Jamaica?
Which two parishes produce? We can't get here. We produce potato. I don't know which two parishes, Bridging. We produce potato. Me no farm potato, Bridging.
All right.
That's why you can shut up the mouth and listen.
So why you on the platform then trying to defend something?
Yes, because it's a general topic, Bridging. We produce potato.
No, but you cannot speak of things that you don't know, my brother.
Bridging,
you can't speak of things that you don't know.
Bridging, Mr. Senior, he's a big man, Bridging. You're not super from dementia, Bridging.
Diego,
no.
Guys in St. Catherine, then Manchester. No. Produce the most potato.
Sorry. I wonder how the listeners are benefiting from this now. I think probably they are not, you know.
I don't think so. Because we are not. Neighbor, let me just take this.
Sorry. We have a new a new co-host, Jamaica girl. Please, the box is now full, and when it is this full, we don't get a chance to listen to each other. I think we're gonna have to move on. I'm gonna ask a couple questions, and try to see if I can steer the discussion in another direction.
No, different direction, yes.
Take control, neighbor.
Yeah?
Control.
Yes. The listeners have to learn. The listeners have to learn. Diego?
Yes, sir. Hello, neighbor. How are you doing, my friend?
Do you have anything else to add? So we want to move from the rice and sweet potato, Irish potato.
I'm willing to move far away from it for a long time.
But
just we're on the discussion.
Before you move from that though,
you know, but
I'm neighbor.
Yes,
I totally got my I totally got my point across for a week.
Yes, Diego. Yes. All right. Let's do a round table, sir.
I totally got my point across. Hold on, Barry, man.
Him second come up in the live as a PMP. I run down Labour live, sir.
Hold on, sir.
All right.
So all this with PMP and JLP live.
Ask Diego one question.
No,
but
the other night you were on a live and say, Andrew no build no school. I'm gonna tell you this because I first never thought this because maybe someone who don't know. A new classic might know this. A brand new block has been completed, ready for opening at the Homo Technical High School. Classic, you know about that?
8 classrooms.
Simple, all right. Pause again.
And labs and...
Never give Diego one more. 2 brand new blocks is being completed. It's been built at the Albertown High School. Classic, you know about that?
Block you talk about, Chris. Block you talk about, school me talk about.
The school same here.
No, I want to say school. Let me just tell you school. Let me tell you school. Let me tell you school.
Hold a second, guys. Hold a second.
Let me tell you school.
Hold a second, Classic.
Back Road Basic School.
Classic.
As our infant school.
All right. Neighbor, I want to make a point on agriculture before we move on to schools, all right? And I want to say this. Agriculture in Jamaica, right? As over the years, we have paid lip service to agriculture, right? And recently, Jamaica government got an opportunity to invest some money in Jamaica. And we from the European Union, the United Kingdom, and we prioritize agriculture. We made agriculture the priority. You know why? Because what we realize, we have so many hectares of land, arable lands that are not irrigated. And if you were to say to farmers, go farm on these lands and produce, and when drought hit you, you're going to lose your crop. So what the government has done, the government has decided to spend $7 billion to irrigate over 700 hectares of land. Right? In addition to that, they realize that if you irrigate this amount of land, farmers are going to get into a frenzy. They are going to farm. And when these farmers farm, they are going to farm more than we can consume in Jamaica. And as such, you are going to have a glut in the market, and you are going to have spoilage. So what the government has done, the government has decided to build 2 storage facilities. And these 2 storage facilities will take off the excess produce from these farms, including Irish potato.
Yeah.
And I
Mr. Mine, I see the Gleaner and TVJ trying to suggest that Southwestern St. Elizabeth is a dead heat. I'm going to have something to say on that later on. But go ahead, sir.
Right. So basically, what that will do, every time we have like hurricane or we have a flood, agriculture take the biggest hit. And once agriculture takes a hit, you hear that the country would have lost, would have declined by X amount of percent within a particular quarter, right? Because agriculture produce would have been so badly affected. It affects the tourism industry, it affects restaurants and bars, the service sector, the household, every sector in society, agriculture affects. So by propping up agriculture and make it resilient to shocks like hurricane, long droughts, long rains, or flooding, what this will do is when you produce enough, when the time is okay, and you store the excess, when we have these shocks, these floods, these adverse weather conditions in Jamaica, we will have enough food in our storage that we can release into the market to ease that are affected when we have adverse weather conditions within our country. And that is what this government is doing for agriculture. You may not see it now because it is in the construction phase, but once it is completed, you are going to start see the benefits. I give you 2 to 3 months, especially with those crops that take that time. Neighbor.
Very good. Maestro? Maestro?
Let's move on now.
We're moving on, sir, but not your time yet. Maestro, are you there? Maestro? Dark Shade?
Yes, sir.
Go ahead. What do you want to add, Dark Shade?
Well, it's simple to add to what Barry has been saying. But
yes,
one important point that I think was not made, that I think that the listeners need to understand. When you have a government who understands what the country is going through and what will be needed to be done in order to get things on track, and you have another party who plays with whatever is necessary or what is to be done, but nobody makes mention of it. The fact that in the 2012 campaign leading up to the election, Andrew Holness stated that bitter medicine would have had to be administered based on the IMF tests that were to be passed and so on and so forth. That means that we were about to see some.
I was on stage in Mandeville when he said that.
Harsh fiscal time.
Yeah.
And we had
Dark Shade is
some harsh
We're
measures
not hearing Dark Shade. Jamaican girl, you're gonna have to ask Dark Shade.
to get
No, we're not hearing you, no, sir.
certain things.
No, this is not.
Dark Shade, fix the internet, Dark Shade, fix
This is
the
not
internet
working
and
at
come
all.
back.
I'm sorry.
Joel?
I'm sorry. It was a call that came in. Just give me a second.
Okay. Call coming, him gone. Yeah, take him down. Let him come back. Mr. Senior.
Mr. Senior, Mr. Uriel Senior, your time.
Okay. All right. It appears as if let's see if we can.
Sorry. Let me just move the mic. I never realized that it was bad move. Yes, I hear you said that the people are not not understanding what we are saying. And you are perfectly right, because if I come on a stage and I bring something to your attention, and and it's something that detrimental to something, and when you ask me, okay, yes, what caused it or what so and so, and I'm going to tell you that I don't recall, that means you're not making a conversation, right?
Yeah.
You are coming to spread.
Let me ask you a question, sir.
Venom.
What is before the people of Jamaica now as they look towards going to the polls? What is the choice before them now, sir? Speak to that.
Well, to be a clear choice, if the people of Jamaica have a mind and an ability to think for themselves, we have one government who is there trying to help the people and one who want to come in to tear it down. So we should just do what we have to do and do it at the poll and get rid of these people altogether.
And I see where they're suggesting that Dayton Campbell would be a good Minister of Agriculture. So what is your view on that?
Where? How?
Huh?
Where and how?
Well, the PNP is not putting Dayton Campbell he's the spokesman on agriculture, and I see in the chat they're talking about Campbell.
Well, I am not sure if Dayton Campbell has ever planted a tree in his life, so I really can't say anything to that. I really wouldn't say to that, but I don't think it would be good for even me. I am a farmer, you know. I'm a coffee farmer. Yeah. So I know what farming is. So when they go talking this and talking that.
He says he's a coffee farmer.
Here's what, Cena?
You see, so when
no, Cena, repeat yourself. I never hear.
I said I am a coffee farmer.
Cena.
I am a coffee farmer.
You're joking.
And if you want to know,
and in these times, the most fruitful time of your coffee venture, right? Right, Mr. Senior.
What do you say?
Mr. Senior.
Yeah.
I didn't get that, you know.
He's not hearing you. Winston?
Times are the most fruitful time of your coffee venture as a farming in the coffee industry.
Well, let me tell you something about coffee, my brother, if you want to listen. Coffee is something you have to put in to get out, right? And I am not saying that we are getting the best price for our coffee, because there is nothing in Jamaica a farmer get price at the best price for, right? But the more you put into a coffee farm is the more you take out. So say for instance, if I'm getting $10,000 or $11,000 box, and I have 2 acre coffee and I treat that coffee well, I can end up with 160 bucks or 200 bucks for that 2 acre. Now, if I'm ending up with 50 acres, 50 bucks or 30 bucks, I am losing. And it wouldn't be the government fault or whatsoever, because I don't put in what I have to put in. Yes, there is some time that I can't afford it. I agree with that. But it doesn't mean that you cannot get $10,000 and make something out of coffee, as long as you put in the thing that it needs to grow.
Okay. All right. It's 30
I just respect you, Mr. Senior. I respect you.
Yeah, so
I respect you, Senior. Senior, I will respect you. I will not go there, but
yes. Winston.
Let me say this. Let me move on. This is just
I want to ask Diego. Your
reality of St. Elizabeth seat where the agriculture minister is in.
Diego, I want to go back to coffee, because you have a MP caretaker / councillor in St. Thomas who mentioned that when him win, he going to ensure say coffee farmers get $20,000 a box for them coffee.
Oh, classic, 22,000.
Oh, sorry, 22,000. Sorry for tell lie upon your person there, your candidate. Yeah, man. But you agree that he can make that possible? Is he the one who regulates?
Of course.
Is he the one? Is he the one who regulates the prices of
classic
coffee?
Classic. The PMP knows the know-how. I want me, man. The PMP knows the know-how and the PMP knows the know-how and the witty to get the price up to. You can recall Mr. Senior as a coffee farmer.
All right.
I can remember.
Let me ask Senior. No, let me ask Senior.
Let me interject here. Let me interject here and call me name. There is no way any coffee farmer in a Jamaica will get $22,000 a box. It don't work out. It cannot work out, right? One time, one and only time, 1 year. Let me see if I could remember.
Which was a year?
Let me finish, man. Let me see if we get $16,000, $14,000 and $15,000 a box of coffee. I live in the Blue Mountain area, right? And it was because of shortage of coffee and this other country where used to produce coffee, some fire or something did burn them down or whatsoever it is. And we never have enough coffee to sell. So it was a tug and war thing that people come in and start to offer prices to get the coffee. So the man who have the higher price, him is the one that we normally sell to. That was what happened. It was about government.
Mr. Senior,
it was not about government. I mean, a coffee from 1992.
Mr. Senior, which year was that?
It was 2014, Diego. Diego, it was 2014, but
2015.
But at the same
quite
time,
remember. As I said, I don't tell lie.
But Diego, at the same, hold on, my friend, hold on there.
Box of coffee. And I want to tell you, if you are going to rinse money through the criminal organization that is promising to buy it for $22,000, you can get $22,000 if they want to rinse some money. So they come and buy the coffee for $22,000 with legitimate money too, so as to make the money legitimate. That's the only other way, Mr. Senior.
All right. Diego, we have to thank Diego?
Just take the cost to produce a coffee to send way.
Oh, we have to thank you, brother, because we're moving on here.
Yeah, we could talk about St. Elizabeth, no, man. It's just a starch reality of what going on in the agriculture sector. But
you have to listen, though, Diego. You hear?
Yeah, them not listen. Have I been disrespectful on your program, sir?
No, man, I'm not talking about disrespect. I'm just talking about just listen now. Listen now, because we're going to do a round table.
The man listen, man. Take out the man out of the box, man.
If you tell him when call me right now,
can I make a proposal?
Yes.
I have the list of, I have the Sparks Road up. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 people including us, and yourself is 9 on the panel, right?
Yes.
Now I am going to suggest, neighbor, just as a test to show what the government is doing. If you tell me which constituency you are actually in or from, I can tell you the roads that you currently have on the list for repairs, and you probably can tell us if that road has started, you know?
Oh, that's fantastic. All right, let's do that in 30 seconds.
Can I name in mind?
No, just give me a little. Northwest Manchester coming up.
In the meantime, Trish Boo, I see you online. How are you doing? How are you, Trish Boo? Yeah, she's come off. Jamaican girl, tell the people in the box to oh, Diego is gone. Yeah, he's gone.
Can I correct one lie where Diego tell when time?
Mr. Pang, how are you, sir?
Yes, I'd just like to. Good afternoon.
Where are
to
you,
your
Mr. Pang?
panel.
Where are you, sir?
I'm in my constituency. My constituency is called Samuda, but I'm in Connecticut right now. But I just like to correct one lie where Diego tell that the last person who thanked the people them was Portia Simpson Miller. Prime Minister Andrew Holness is on record thanking the people of Jamaica, the Portia Simpson Miller and Peter Phillips and Bruce Golden and Arlie Shaw with Mr. Duncan and all the people them with where we are right now.
Right, so I have Northwest Manchester, Mr. Neighbor. So I have George District, Beverly Green, Evergreen, Wicar to Silver Grove, Providence, Kingsland to Subdivision Road, and Race Course and New Green. Those are for Northwest Manchester. You want me to repeat them?
Approve roads?
Approve roads on the list, approved for construction by October of this year.
What are you saying to me?
So if if you tell me the name of your constituency, I can give you the roads.
Tell us in the chat the name of your constituency, and we're going to tell you the roads on the sparks that are going to be repaired this year.
Mine's are West Rural St. Andrew.
All right.
Well, he never send in nothing past Sparks, cause he say him road them good. You not care for him people them. Right, Diego?
St. Andrew.
West Rural St. Andrew.
Mr. Martin, just share the website and let them go check it here.
Manchester. All right. So the website, I just wanted to just do these people on the live, just so that everybody can understand that this is not a fluke.
So, Mr. Martin, what is happening over in Southwest, in Southwestern St. Elizabeth? Why is it that the RGR Communications Group is so focused on this constituency?
Well, the thing is, they say that wherever this constituency goes, where the election goes, right? And so, if it is leaning PMP, then everybody say, because it always vote with the winning party, right? So basically, wherever this constituency leans, that's where the election will lean.
What is your information coming out of Southwestern St. Elizabeth?
Well, the thing is, based on the understanding that I would have gotten, is that St. Elizabeth is safe, you know? We don't have a challenge in St. Elizabeth right now.
Yes. Yes. I wonder if Gustav is listening. Thank God. I told you that. Sorry, I'm coming, listeners. Give me a minute there. Give me a minute. So, Mr. Martin, the four constituencies in St. Elizabeth, you think those are
standing firmly behind the Jamaica Labour Party.
Even Northeastern?
Even Northeastern.
All right.
There's too much happening in St. Elizabeth for them to actually decide to. Now, West Rural St. Andrew, I want to tell Mr. We have Doncaster to Mount Charles, Paradise Road, Blue Mountain, Garnet Avenue, Rock Pond, Seaview, Brook Level, Castle Drive, Mount Pleasant. You know any of those roads, Mr.
Yeah, man. I'm living on the one leading to Mount Pleasant.
So your road is going to be fixed?
Yeah, mine be that it will start fixed early, but I don't know early. And some of them fixed already because I hear you call two that are no fixed already.
Can you go over to Western Central Westmoreland, sir?
And while he looks for Central Westmoreland, I just want to say that 3 days ago, Julissa Jess, she would have wrote on Facebook, I bet my last dollar, if I was a woman, if I was a man, I would have been treated way better than how they are treating me right now. That is what she wrote. And she continued.
Northwestern Central is what you say?
Central Westmoreland, he said.
Or Central Westmoreland.
And she continued. She said, let me go confide in my counselors them, yeah. So maybe, I don't know, something might be happening in the camp. They might treat her bad.
Well, you know damn well that the PMP doesn't love women.
Neighbor.
J-Boy, you are from St. Elizabeth, sir?
Yes, sir. Remember, I told you that, when was it? Yesterday we had a conversation. And I told you that there's no place in St. Elizabeth for the PNP.
All right, so if you want to go to Central Westmoreland, it's Friendship, Syrian Middle Street, Potters Mountain, Welcome to Maxfield, Witton to Lagwood, D'Costa to Cook Street, Sigree to Sigree Street, Farms Pen, Kingswood Pen, Kelly, Poppy Street, and Broadwalk Scheme, and Newtown. That's for Central Westmoreland. Friendship to Syrian, Middle Street, Potters Mountain, Welcome to Maxfield, Witton to Lagwood, D'Costa to Cook Street, Sigree Street, Farm Pen, Kingswood Pen, Kelly, Poppy Street, Broadwalk Scheme, and Newtown.
Central Clarendon. No, Sigree Street. Mayor Dujan talked about that street there's so many times.
Let's jump over to St. Elizabeth for a while. J-Boy?
Yes, sir.
Why St. Elizabeth? Marlene, you're a queen, eh? Why St. Elizabeth being seen as so close at this point? Since you are also confident of what is happening there. Why
At so close. St. Elizabeth has always been like that. There's I think if I'm not wrong, I think it's one time that PMP MP won in St. Elizabeth. So St. Elizabeth is always been a stronghold for the JLP. All of St. Elizabeth.
Yes, you are in Floyd Green's constituency, sir.
Yes, sir.
And the Gleaner today is making the suggestion that let me tell you that as Mr. Green tries to get a third term, he is having a difficulty because some of the people there are not so happy with the progress.
Not that I know of. The Gleaner is going to say what they want to say, because guess what? Who runs the Gleaner?
Deba, I will not take a word.
Let's take it for the newsworthiness that it comes with, because the member of parliament himself is saying that there are some of the farmers there who are yet to get water, irrigated water, and some of the community roads remain unfixed. Maybe Mr. Mighton, you could tell us of the roads in that constituency, which of them are going to be fixed in Southwestern.
Southwest Central. Let me give you Central Clarendon, because somebody had asked about Central Clarendon. So
yes.
We have Pennant Wood, Main Road, Effortville to Long Gully, Buckner, Bottom Road, Mud Lane, West Park Avenue, Cemetery Road, Circle Drive, Inglewood Drive, Wellington Drive, Woodleach, and what is that? Corridor Hill. Those are the roads. So we're going to where? St. Elizabeth?
Yes, in Floyd Green's constituency. But in the meantime, J-Boy?
Yes, sir.
Yes. So
That's
the MP say you have to be trucking water to some people there. They still don't have water in their pipes and they're losing hope.
I don't think they are losing hope. A lot of that is propaganda, and the PMP propaganda machine is moving, as we know. It's been like that for a good while now, and there's a lot of work that's been done, even since Beryl. The amount of work that the MP put into that area, I've never heard any of the people that I've seen and I've spoken to that is disgruntled in any way against the MP. So I have no idea where that kind of information is coming from.
all right. So we're going to Northwestern St. Elizabeth, right?
Southwest.
Yes.
Southwest.
Yes.
Let me give you Northwestern since we're on it, right?
Okay.
So we have Coffee Lane, Mahogany Lane, Brighton, Park Mountain, Top Burnt Ground, Forest Park, Holt, New River, Wrangle Lane, Burton Lane, Good Hope. Right, that is Northwestern. So we're going to South.
Yeah.
You're not in Northwestern. We're going to South St. Elizabeth, right?
Yeah.
All right, Southeastern St. Elizabeth, right? Trial.
No man, Floyd Green is Southwestern, you know.
Southwestern.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
All right, Southwestern St. Elizabeth. Right, so we have Slipe, Fullerwood Road to Slipe, to Frenchman, to Frenchman, sorry. Watchwell to Newcomb Valley. Hilltop, Paraty to Hilltop, Schoolhouse to the Tingent Middle Square, Newcombe Valley to Beacon, Road to Anslow, Ponside Road to Hilltop, and Wire Road to Vineyard. No, sorry. You have Cutterwood to Shrewsbury, and Loana to Housing Scheme Phase 1. That would be the Southwestern St. Elizabeth.
All right. There
So
you
I guess
go.
everybody on their live would have heard their constituency, right?
No, man.
And what about Northeast Manchester?
Southeast Clarendon.
Check out Northeast Manchester.
Yes.
What about Western St. Thomas, Farm Road?
Southeastern Clarendon.
That is it.
All right, so I want to live on the road, Girlstone Road to White Road. Pengate to Corners Peace Settlement. Bottom Alls to Alls. All to Top Alls All. First entrance to New Bowens to Hillview, Joe Reed, Dry Hill, Portland Cottage, Fairfield Street. This is 37 Havana Cross, SB 19 and B37 Havana Cross.
Savannah.
Kennedy Drive, Oakland Crescent. Oakland Crescent is in St. Andrews, right? Neighbor, we take about two more and call it George.
Yes, Southwest Clarendon. I see them putting them in East Rural St. Andrew. Northern Clarendon.
Western St. Thomas.
But neighbor, interestingly, 4
Western
are parochial roads, and they are all PNP roads. Barneswell, who is not fixing roads in his division, 4 of those roads belongs to Barneswell.
You mean parochial, meaning that they are parish council?
Parish council roads.
Then Sparks do parish council roads too?
Sparks are supposed to do parish council road.
Yeah.
But at the same time, Barneswell is not fixing it, so it has to be fixed.
Yeah.
Even Sigrid Street in Westmoreland, I would hear Dujan speak.
Was
on
it
so
North
many
Central
times.
Clarendon that you said? And North Central Clarendon is Coxswain, Gardenwood, Cotton Ground, Post Road Bottom, Prospect, New Ground, Goldring Hill, Connells Ridge School Road, Storeton, Mount Erie, Whitechapel, Mount Valley, Reeds, and Green Park.
All right, guys, the Classic has posted the website.
The website, right? So
you can go there and see if roads in your constituency. That's sparksjamaica.gov.jm. Okay, sparksjamaica.gov.jm. Septi is online. Septi, let's hear what you have to say.
Hello, neighbor. How you doing, man?
Hello, sir. How are you?
I'm doing good. I heard a bunch of roads been about to fix, so I'm trying to figure out if Western St. Thomas, those farm roads, if those are
Western St. Thomas, Barry, can you do that for
Give me a
Septi?
minute. It's like about a whole lot of roads, you know. Western St. Thomas, here we come. All right, so you have Morgan Vale to Agles Gap, Moffat to Jones Pen, Mount Vernon, Ridge, Whitehall, Watsea Fort, Poorman's Corner to Ortiz, Yallas Primary to Ortiz, Spring Pass Road, Old Road Bridge to Cambridge Hill, Albion Double Drive, Albion Lane, and South Haven.
Yes, neighbor. The first name call was my community, so I appreciate that.
7 letters, but so does
fantastic. All right. Jamaica man.
Yes, hello neighbor. Bless up Shower Labor Right family.
Yes, sir. How are you?
I am doing well. And even to know that the thing they wrote to Ugly Gap community will be fixed, because that is the only damper in the Western St. Thomas. And once the Ugly Gap road will be fixed, I know that East Rural St. Andrew Road that people are complaining about now will also be fixed. So that is Mr. James' constituency, along with the Speaker of the House constituency.
Oh, fantastic. That's over in East Rural.
Yes, East Rural and Western.
Yeah, lovely. All right. Septi, we lost Septi. Let's take him back up. My moderator, can you set a new target there for me? Mr. Maiten?
Yes, sir.
With the time we have left, what it is that separates the Jamaica Labour Party from the People's National Party, in your view, sir? As we try to, influence minds, what would you say are the major differences in these two parties?
I'll tell you. I could sum it up in 2 words, I could say track record of performance. But it is a case where, when you look at what Jamaica Labour Party has been doing over the years, or the history of Jamaica Labour Party, the Jamaica Labour Party has prided itself in creating an economy that enables people to actually secure jobs that will provide for them and their families. It's like, the same way say you teach a man to fish as against giving him a fish. And that is what Jamaica Labour Party has done. I mean,
Mr. Mike,
over time. We believe in building the economy, which creates opportunities for people, and people will use those opportunities to create wealth for themselves and their families.
Yeah. Why has the party been so successful for this term? What it is that is responsible for this tremendous success of the party?
It's simple. It's been frugal. It's been frugal in our approach to managing the economy. And when I say frugal, I mean we spend based according to our means. We spend based on what we have. And as soon as we increase our ability to spend, we spend more. So we never try to spend more than we have. And we're always looking for opportunity to create wealth for our people. And that's what the Jamaica Labour Party has done over the years. Never.
You credit the success, because I have a list here, you know, sir, that I have been putting together of Labour Party achievement. Unprecedented years of no new taxes, Mr. Mine. How has the government been able to not raise taxes for 10 years?
Being frugal. Like I said, we did the heavy lifting in the first part of when we got the country. We realized that there were going to be austerity measures. So we banned our belly. We weather the storm. We say to our people, listen, this is a time when it's going to be rough. It's going to be difficult because we are going through a tough period of time. But we promise you that once things get better, which we will do, we are going to make things better for you. And this is what people are seeing. People understand that they took the bitter medicine that Andrew Holness promised them in the initial stage. And the bitter medicine is now bearing fruit. It didn't taste good in the first place.
You know, Mr. Martin, there are many Jamaicans who do not make these links. How important is this in terms of the economy, sir, and the ability of the economy to grow? This is unprecedented. We have never had a government that has not laid taxes on the backs of Jamaicans, Mr. Martin. For a government to have been in power for 10 years and have not raised taxes, and not only have they not raised taxes, but they have reduced taxes. It needs to be highlighted, eh?
It's basically let me tell you, as a leader, you do not come with a panacea, well, that you are all knowing. So basically what you do, you surround yourself with a team of people who are able to advise you. And as such, you look at the advice that you are given and you take them and you implement the ideas that you see that will be successful. And that is what our Prime Minister has been doing. He has been leading a team of people who he sits with, knock heads together, and he's been able to put together the winning ideas that has helped Jamaica. We look at, and if you look at what he's doing now, it is not just for the now that he's actually creating a stable economy. He's creating a stable economy that will benefit us, our children, and our grandchildren. He is actually making Jamaica great.
Yeah. Mr. Senior, are you there, sir?
Yes, I am here.
Weighing on this, Mr. Senior, the fact that the government has not increased taxes for 10 years is not to be underestimated, you know, Mr. Senior.
No, it should not be underestimated, because I can go to the tax office to license my vehicle and paying the same price for the last 7 or 8 years. So that is good for me, because I don't have to know that it moved to another $2,000 or $3,000 a year. Even in the shelf you buy. And I don't smoke or drink, but I mean, even those people should be rejoicing. So I don't see anywhere where people could be so, I don't even want to say stupid, but just to really being off themselves by not following the facts of what is happening, and to really return back these people into power, which cannot even, you don't see anybody there that can even form a government.
Yeah,
that is my opinion for right now. I don't see nobody in that party who is running for government or for election who can form a good government.
Yeah, Mr. Mike, the NIR, sir, is at a record level. tell our listeners what the NIR is and why it is that it is important for us to keep growing the NIR.
All right. Now, everybody work, right? And so you, every time you go work, you have a budget. You have your food budget, you have your expense for back to work, the kids, and you have a little savings, right? Now, the NIR would represent the government savings. So they put away a little money for rainy day. And basically, that is what it is. So what the government has done is based on what they have been putting away for rainy day, it is now able $32 weeks, 32 months, is it 32 months, right, of goods and services. And so what we have been accustomed to seeing is 12 and 13. Now this record has taken up from 12 and 13 to 30. And so
yeah, Mr. Martin, the one of the record of the PNP is that they have been fiscally irresponsible. Would you agree with me?
yes, sir. And
yes,
and let me tell people what that means. When somebody say you are fiscally irresponsible, it means that you are not very frugal with your spending. And it is like you have money and you say, all right, I can't get money to borrow. So anything I see I want, I just go buy it. Because guess what? If my money done, I can go borrow some money to buy some more. And that is what it is fiscally irresponsible is. When you are fiscally responsible, you don't spend more money than you have. And that is what fiscal responsibility is.
You made a point yesterday, sir, that I don't know if the listeners recall when Omar Davis spoke about running with it. You know, it's better for us to be inside here trying to solve the problem than to be outside wondering how Mr. Siaga is going to solve it. So you know, he said, run with it. Yes, and run with it. Is going to solve it. So you know, he said, run with it. Yes, and run with it. It is going to solve it. So you know, he said, run with it.
We have nothing to hear, Mr. Gavin.
Sorry. Jamaican girl, can you welcome me?
We have nothing to hear. All right. So basically, Mr. Neighbor,
I want you to explain to the listeners that the government had the choice,
yes,
to run with it. In other words, to you know, the fiscal deficit, right, to improve that and to spend more in an election year to win the election. And I was saying to someone yesterday that when they were talking about why Holness don't call the election now, that it is not only about power, it is about serving the people.
That's right. So neighbor, basically what it is, we're in an election year. Everybody know that people want to see a lot of things get done within an election year. What this government did, what Omar Davis did when he said, run with it, basically he didn't have the money to spend, right? So he credited that money and said, listen me, we're in an election year when we are going to spend more money than we have. If we win the government, we can always try and fix that. But for right now, let us just run with it and spend whatever it takes us to win the election. Now,
Mr. Martin, what an irresponsible thing
very
to have
irresponsible way to lead a government. So what this government did, we have a budget of $1.34 trillion, right? And the government has the opportunity to run what is called a deficit. And a deficit means within the fiscal responsibility framework, the government it allows the government to run a 0.3% deficit of that amount. Means that you can spend 0.3% more than your budget is. But the government of Jamaica said, listen, we are not doing that. We are spending within our means. We are not spending more than we have, or we can find the money to pay for. So basically, we are going to present to the Jamaican people a sound and balanced budget. So basically, what a balanced budget means, it means that for every cent that you plan to spend, you have identified the source of funding that you will use to fund the budget.
Fantastic.
And when you run a deficit, it means that if you run a deficit, you have not identified the source of funding to fund the budget. So you have to go borrow to make up that deficit. And
Isn't
the government
it true, Mr. Maiton, that based on the financial position that Jamaica is in, that
Yes.
it can get lots of money to borrow?
Oh, yes. Let me tell you, the first time in the history of Jamaica that the government has floated a Jamaican dollar bond on the international capital market. And that Jamaican, when I said Jamaican dollar bond, it means that I am saying to people in England, United States, Germany, I am putting out a bond, or I'm borrowing some money from you, but I am borrowing it from you, and you have to take Jamaican dollars money, right? So I'm borrowing some money from you, and you're going to give me that money. But when I'm going to pay you back that money, I am going to give you back that money in Jamaican dollars, right? Now, that never happened before. When we borrowed money on the international bond market, when those bonds become due, we had to find the US dollar to pay them back. Now, in this case, we don't have to find US dollar. We will pay these countries back in Jamaican dollars. And because the country is so stable, these countries feel, or these people who are borrowing the money from Jamaica, who Jamaica is borrowing the money from, say, listen to me, when these bonds become due, if you give us back this money in Jamaican dollars, we can convert this Jamaican dollars into US dollar without having a problem because your country is doing so well. Basically, that's what it means.
Okay. Gigi?
Yeah, man.
Gigi?
Yes, man.
Great Sunday afternoon to you, man. How you doing?
Not too bad, sir. How are you? Even to your panel. I say even to your panel too.
Yes. Gigi, no government with such a record should lose an election. Don't you think?
It will be a travesty if they do. Especially especially on the backs of where we're coming from. So I keep on saying, neighbor.
Yes.
The past experience is one that I am very aware of.
Yes.
So I'm very appreciative of where we are now. So to compare,
would you mind spending a minute or two, Gigi? We have new listeners all the time. Could you tell us when you say where we are coming from? Where are we coming from?
We're coming from in the 90s in particular, where every budget that is being read, everybody was fearful of the budget. Meaning, you'll be wondering which new tax will be added or which new tax will be deducted from your salary.
Do you remember a year during those periods when the budget was read and we never had taxes, sir? Do you remember?
Can't remember. I started working as a young from university in 2002. 2002 right up. I have no experience of not paying new taxes up until 2017.
Yes, and that is where we are coming from. Now, you have had a personal experience with this, Mr. Gigi.
Yes, as I said, yeah. Well, my experience was in high school.
Yes,
where school fee in 1990 was 900 Jamaican dollars. 1990, and by 1993, the school fee was $15,000. A whopping 15,000%.
You were a student. You were a student in high school.
Yes. The school fee at the time was 900, and it was a boarding school. And $900 could take care of an entire term, 3 meals a day, my living quarters, my just think about everything that the school would give to you. $900 could take care of that in 1990. And by 1993, I had to leave that institution because my parents could not afford it, because the school fee was now $15,000 per term, a whopping 15,000% increase. So if anybody understand what was happening in the economy, Mark, we wouldn't ever understand at the time what was happening. But what was happening was FinSac.
Gigi, why is it important that these points be highlighted now?
Why is it relevant? It's important to highlight. It is always best to have stability than instability.
Yes.
Because stability gives you some assurance of survival, some assurance of putting your next foot forward, some assurance in knowing where your food will come from tomorrow, some assurance of what your kids' future would look like, some assurance of taking risk to enrich yourself, some assurance, some surefootedness to the point that you don't have to guess and spell. You know what is coming tomorrow. What uncertainty does, you don't know what to do. That's what it does. To any person who even run a business will understand that the uncertainty that it does to any individual. You don't know what to do. Some people have to wait till budget. These business people will tell you, say, oh, look, me have some spending for you, but hold on a little bit. Me have to wait till the budget read. Those are the things that it do. Right now, a man can invest from December and say, sure, no tax now going to increase. I invest in a business. When him invest in a business, what end up in business grow. And guess what? Him employ more people, so the government get more taxes. These are just domino effects of the simple economics in ensuring that the environment is certain. There must be some level of certainty in the environment where you're concerned.
Fantastic. Jamaica man?
Yes, I'm hearing you.
Jamaica man. The crime in Jamaica is 36% below where it was last year. This is fantastic, don't you think, sir?
Yeah, this is great, because once the crime is going down, and that is one of the main focus that the people normally have. The main focus is on the crime rate. We should remember that the PM had told us that...
Sick up in, Jamaican man. You know what I'm going to ask my listeners? Tell me if you feel safer in Jamaica today than in say 5-6 years ago. Put it in the comments. Do you feel safer? Is the 36% reduction in crime impacting you personally? Is it that you feel safer as you travel across the Jamaica? Go ahead, Jamaica man.
Yeah, as I was saying, we could recall that the PM have told us that it will be better. He will take down the crime rate. Maybe he didn't say it in so much words, but that is actually what he was saying. Now that we are seeing that the trajectory is on, right, where crime is going down, I don't think people will feel that much impact now, but over the years to come, we will feel a lot more safer, right? Because there are people now looking and saying, even tourists, people overseas, persons who will be returning residents, they are looking now and say, yes, this is the time we can go to Jamaica. You have investors looking and say, well, the crime have gone down. We know that we were plagued with what they would call extortion. Now that we see that the communities, the gangs are getting rid of out of the community, then people can come and invest because what? Nobody is there to extort them.
Yes.
So it is a lot safer than several years ago. So we see we are on the right pathway where crime is concerned.
Fantastic. Mr. Maiton? Maiton? Yeah, his microphone is open. Jamaican girl, I wonder if you can, Mr. Martin.
What? Repeat your question. Yes, I'm here.
You fell asleep, sir?
No, man. I was listening, man.
Yeah, but Barry, tell me, this 36 reduction in crime, how do you think that impacts the economy?
Well, let me tell you, it is significant, very, very significant, and I'll tell you why. Over the years, people will tell you crime is always a deterrent to businesses in Jamaica, right? And when people feel safe and people feel comfortable, the index will rise. People will feel a lot more safer and feel freer to go out and do business. And investors will feel like the climate will be so friendly to business because we do not have the fear of crime, and people will be more willing to come and invest in the country.
Yeah.
So
doesn't it also mean, Mr. Martin, that businesses open their doors a little longer at nights? There is a multiplier effect in the economy. Yes,
definitely. And I give you one more thing too. Crime and investor confidence. Crime always impact investor confidence. The government is on a roll to try to bring the debt to GDP down to 60%. This will give Jamaica what is called investment grade ratings. Now, if you have investment grade ratings and everybody says, here's a country that has investment grade rating, the next question they are going to look at, what is the crime stat in that country? And if you have crime moving in the right direction and the economy moving in the right direction, can you imagine the potential that lies for Jamaica? So basically, what we will see moving forward is that Jamaica, where we will, with the unemployment rate at the current level that it is, we will see investment coming into Jamaica where we will need to import labor into our country to fill some of these jobs that will become available. And if you look at the Raintree investment, the Raintree project that was open on Ferry, that is slated to open to come when it comes on stream in another 2 years. It will provide 5,000 permanent IP jobs, and that is just one of the projects. We look at St. Thomas. St. Thomas, once it is fully occupied, you are going to be looking at about 2,000 jobs in that new town center. You are going to be looking at jobs being created at Portmore, jobs being created in Portland when that new town center is completed, and all the other projects that the government is currently opening up. So the economy is in for good stead moving forward.
All right. With all of that being said, Mr. Martin, is there any concern in your mind that somehow Jamaicans are going to overlook all of this and make the election even competitive? Is there any concerns that you have in terms of voter intentions on the island at this time?
Once upon a time, I would think so, but guess what? I have so much confidence in my Jamaican people. I listen to a Cliff Hughes online. I'm not sure if you ever listened to that program. There's a little old man called himself Papa Nana, right?
Yes.
And I hear Papa Nana coming on to Cliff Hughes online, and when Papa Nana start to tell us the figures, tell us some economical term, debt to GDP, unemployment rate. You know what it says to me, neighbor? It says to me, not just people who are educated understands what is happening in the economy. It says even the little old man who probably never go more than grammar school understand what is happening in Jamaica. So I'm very hopeful that Jamaican will give this Andrew Holness administration a third term. I have absolutely no doubt in the back of my mind that Jamaica Labour Party will get a third term, and possible with an increased majority.
Yeah, but when you listen, Mr. Senior, to many of the PNP supporters, you wonder though, sir?
Well, let me tell you something. Mr. Senior is a practical and realistic man, Mr. Senior understand the lay of the land. And Mr. You know what Mr. Senior said? Mr. Senior said if you produce and you are actually working in a market that is a competitive market, what you have to do to stay out of the game is be efficient. That is exactly what Mr. Senior said, you know. He said you can't produce, you can't have an acre a coffee I give $10. It means that you won't become viable. So what you need to do is to put in the necessary inputs into your field so that the 1 acre land can give you $50 a coffee. And if you can produce $50 a coffee within the 1 acre, you can stay competitive and make some money. That is practical, and that is what we need to tell these people. And when I said to Mr. Senior, when a man coming to promise you $22,000 for a box of coffee, the only thing that you can think of is that man is planning to rinse some money from some underhand deal. And because he probably don't know how to get it in the formal sector, he probably say, all right, I go and buy the farmer's coffee for $22,000. But it can't be a realistic thought that he process that he actually sat down and think about, you know?
Fantastic. Gigi? Gigi?
Yeah.
Well, I'm having some noise in my background here. Gigi, as we have to go shortly, you are understanding. Give me a second here.
Sorry, excuse me, sorry for you, sir. So, my phone is so I
Talk to coach.
So, thank coach, sir.
Cameras are turned off. Have to go though. Good night. Talk to coach. Cameras are turned off.
Not pressure me back.
Have to go though. Good night. Yes, I'm actually at a particular spot. But Mr. Maiten.
Yes, sir, I'm with you.
Yeah, man. I thank you for joining me today. You here, but I am under a little pressure here.
I realize.
Press for time. You hear?
All right.
So we'll do this again tomorrow.
All right, neighbor.
All right,
I'm under a little pressure here.
I realize.
Press for time. You hear?
All right, cool. Take care.
Why say